on today's Success or Excuses podcast, we have a really special guest. I know I say this all the time, right? But me and you, we go back a wee bit. Neil McCabe. Neil, introduce yourself.
Thanks very much for having me. So I think it must have been, I was about 18 when we first met. So that was about, 2018, I think, was the first ever.
2018.
First ever meeting. I came to one of your summits in Bells Hill.
That's right. Yeah.
Aye, that was great. I think I'd just gone self-employed and started the business at that point as well.
18? Holy shit.
Oh, it's like a deer in the headlights.
So tell us, so really young. So what do you do? What is you've said, what is it you actually do? So let people know, what does this young 18-year-old get into business? What did he do?
Estate agency. Of all things, I pick estate agency. So it was great. It's something I've always been quite interested in. So I left school at 16. I got an apprenticeship selling commercial properties, land, plots, shops, let them out. It was great, but I always knew I wanted to go down more the sales route with things.
Yeah.
So I then got a job in a corporate estate agency, I think like what everybody does, and I started to see how you should do things and maybe how you shouldn't do things. Because
it has got a bad name.
It's got a bad name. It's got a really bad name. And
you're obviously really good at it because you've got a really good name.
I'll pay you later. But it has got quite a bad name, to be honest with you. Nobody's the biggest fan of an estate agent in the world. So when I came into it, I thought I want to try and do something a wee bit different. Make folk a bit more relatable to you. So they go on me a wee bit more, they like you a bit more.
And care.
And you care, you put your care and you put a bit more commitment into it than anything. So it was a brave industry to go in at quite a young age, but it's great. And then fast forward to now, I've got my own office, my own branch under franchise. So it keeps me very busy.
It's been a whirlwind few years as well. So for those early days, as I said, 18, starting their own business in an industry that's predominantly experienced, mature adults, we'll say, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to say people my age, but you know, people who have been there, done it, and bought a t-shirt. And you're in this industry, right? You must have been bricking it.
I was. The one story that sticks in my head is my first ever valuation I went to. It was a massive big £300,000 house. I was walking up to the door and I was like, what did I say? What did I say? Who? I was just kind of standing, I was chatting at the door and I was like, please don't answer, please don't answer, please don't, because I just wanted to go home. And then the boy answered and I was like, I was just winging it.
Right.
I was just winging it the full time. And then I did until I kind of got my stride and things, but I was so nervous. The full time, I was bricking it the entire time.
But everybody wings it at the start, right? Especially if it's because you're not somebody who came from an experienced estate agency background, started your own business. You've came into a brand new industry, a brand new business. Oh, okay, you worked in the property, but actually what you did was the very first time you probably ever done it.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It was.
And you've got to wing it. And I always, by the way, I was exactly the same. I came into training and development. I've never done training and development in my life. I was an operations guy. So I've never done it in my life. So you're winging it, but you're doing it with passion.
That's
and I think that's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's when you're passionate about, and you're obviously passionate for all the accolades that you've got already at such a young age. When you're passionate about something, it just feels like an exciting journey, doesn't it? Even
Absolutely.
the peaks and troughs just feel exciting.
It's all part of the process. It's all part. I would just say it's all part of the growth of working with it.
Was there days when you thought to yourself, what the hell have I done?
Oh, honestly, when I first started, I used to come to my mum and dad's house and I'd be like, they'll go, how's working? I'm like, don't talk to me, don't look at me. It's just, I'm not talking about it, it's great. But you know, now I think that builds resilience.
Yes, it does.
And it builds a bit more drive. I've always been really competitive, really, really driven. I did a lot of sport when I was younger for a long time, so I've got that kind of, the mindset I want to win and I want to grow.
And you need that.
And you need that, I think, especially in sales, let alone self-employment. But there was a lot of it going, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done? And I was quite fortunate. There was a couple of folk I worked under, they were fantastic. Kind of took you under your wing a wee bit. The boy that owned the office was great. But you've just got to grit your teeth and go through it, I would say.
Go through the pain.
Go through the pain with it.
So, because it is unique, right, at such a young age, right? And as you said, you know, you're very driven and all that. It is very unique, right? And that's why I love having young business people on the podcast, because you were a lot more. Even when I look back in my own career and people look at me and think, "Oh, how confident this guy is," and like I wasn't like you at that age. Like at 18, I was like, I don't know. You know, I had no idea. I was a sparky. I was an apprentice electrician, but I don't know what life. I would never even have dreamt having a business in those days. So honestly, I'm always, any young entrepreneur that I meet, I always think to myself, holy shit, imagine I had that confidence at that age. So hats off to you, by the way. And I remember when we first met, when we first on the self-leadership programme, and I remember chatting to you. We were introduced by Lorna Latham. So we were introduced by Lorna, and I could tell straight away, this wee guy's got it, man. I don't know why I know. I think it's maybe the passion, because you were this really. Can you remember the room you were in? So you were by far the youngest in the room.
I do.
By a mile. There was about 30 people, 30 people in that programme.
30 odd folk.
And I think it was actually more than that. But anyway, we'll say 30. And I remember you sitting in and you were totally like, you were a deer in the headlights.
The whole way through. And then on the last day, it's like, what have you learned? I was like, can I just sit down? You're like, not stand up, we'll film it. I was like, oh my God, man.
And look at you now.
I know.
I mean, oh my God. And I don't know, I just knew. And I've obviously been following your career right for the early days. So tell us the journey. So you've went from self-employed to having your own office, your own franchise, in quite a short period of time for what you do, and for a very young age. What was that journey like? What was that like?
Stressful.
This is stressful.
I know. Everybody tells me that now. I need to get a different answer for that now. It's been great. It's an eye opener. It really is. And I would always say everybody's rooting in your corner when you first start up and you're brand new, and everybody's sharing your stuff and liking your stuff and following your page. But I think as you keep going on, people, I wouldn't say fall away, but just assume that you're doing great and maybe don't. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're not sharing your content the same, don't get the same enthusiasm. That's it. So I would say it is a hard journey, and it's just me in my office. I speak, I've got a lot of friends, I've got businesses, I've got a lot of good family members I can speak to and relay things about, so that's kind of kept me going quite a lot. But I would say it has been a hard journey. It's been great and I've loved it, and it adds character, adds personality, it gives you something to chat about all the time.
It adds personality, alright.
It certainly does.
You need a personality.
I know.
Never mind being a business owner to be an estate agent business owner, you need personality.
I know, thick skin.
I couldn't do it. I honestly take my hats off to estate agents, particularly good estate agents. As we said at the start, I've experienced the bad side of estate agency, where they literally don't phone you back. You're trying to put offers in, and it feels like sometimes you're hitting this brick wall. And then you've got the good estate agents, where they're talking to you, they're walking you through the process. They're calling, even when you don't need them to call you, they're calling you, but we just want to give you a wee update. This is where we are. Like, what? How's that difficult?
I know, a 90-second phone call goes a long way.
100%.
Always say it to folk, and I do the majority of mine.
A wee bunch of flowers once you've signed the deal. I mean, I couldn't believe that they gave us a bottle of, it was a Prosecco and flowers to give my wife. The estate agency we used, and I was just like, wow. It's
nice. It's wee gestures like that. And people appreciate it, because they don't remember the fact you got them 20 grand over the price of the house. They remember that you ran to Tesco and I've spent £5 on a bottle of Prosecco and £3 a box of chocolates. That's what folk remember.
Absolutely.
They always do. Like my mum and dad used to
buy. And they'll always come back.
They'll always come back to you. They'll always come back to you.
Because it's how you made them feel.
It's because it's how you made them feel. And if you can give them something to hold on to, like a kind of a tangible asset, is that what they call it? You get you something to hold on to, and people always remember that. Like my parents, when they were buying and selling when we were younger, they've still got the keyring of the agent that bought and sold every single one of their houses. From their first house to the house that they're in now. And it's always been that one company. Better be me now, but they've got it, and that would always pinpoint in their mind, because they always had a good experience, always got a wee gift, they always got that to hold on to. So if you can do something like that, something little goes a long way with people. And I worked that out quite quickly into it. I treat people when I'm dealing with them, obviously everybody's different, but the majority of mine I treat like it's your pals you're dealing with. And people always say that in reviews. I've got reviews there for folk going, oh, it's like I had a friend guiding me along the whole way. And you know, it makes you feel nice.
Absolutely.
Because you think somebody's not sitting at home going, I hate that estate agent, he's never spoke to me, I've paid him a fortune for this, he's never communicated once. So
it's a horrible feeling, by the way, I've been on that other side. It's no nice.
No. So I think if you can make it more enjoyable and a bit less stuffy, because it's like, yes, I've got my office and people can come in and sit and they can have an appointment, but I want folk thinking, no, honey, phoning on a Saturday afternoon or texting this time or popping in and a track or whatever, just chatting away, like you're just giving them an update on anything anyway, but you don't want them to feel like it's a traditional route of, oh God, I've got to book my appointment, and you're sitting in the waiting area, then you've got to come up and sit with me at the back. Do you know, I don't like that. And when I started, I thought that's how I want to evolve things.
Yes.
And do it my way, and going in as a younger person to do that in an industry where it is everybody's kind of 40, 50, 60 plus in it, and they've been doing it for decades.
Absolutely.
And it's difficult, but it's
and
been
a lot of your
going
peers, and it's Remax, isn't it?
It's Remax.
So it's a lot of your and Remax, I remember.
Yeah.
I mean, it took a massive dip. But I remember Remax used to be the biggest in the whole of the UK, because I sold one of my houses through Remax. Was a great experience, by the way. Remax, I'm not saying where. It was several years ago. I think 20 years ago, and Remax was the company. They were in every village, every town, everywhere
you go,
and it wasn't a good experience. It wasn't a good experience. So much so I was going to smash him. I was going to pull him out of the table and geet him. It was that bad.
Really?
Aye, because I don't know if it was almost like, and I'm not saying Remax specifically, but a lot of them, we know a lot of companies out there, and I don't want to slag off the industry, but there is a lot of not so good agents out there, and they really don't give a shit. All they care about is my commission. That's not a good thing. You're not going to be super successful if that's how you think.
You're not. That's it.
You know?
Aye.
And that, I think that's the key. It's you've obviously looked at the industry, and the reason I was going there anyway was the peers, people who are much older than you.
Yes.
So and you have obviously, you're outselling a lot of them. What's that like?
It's brilliant. see them in Tesco and that after work one night, like, all right. You know, they're in the head going, oh shit, man, I hate them. But it was great. It was brilliant. I just love winning them. See if you can. That sounds really bad, but
nothing's bad.
I know. See, when you've got somebody and they have been doing it like 10, 15 years longer, and you're still in, and then you're out of selling them, you're out winning. It feels good. It just feels
and that's
great.
When you realise and when you appreciate your drive. And your focus and the grit that it's taking you to get to that point. That's when you go, you know what? I'm fucking good at what I do, man. And you're obviously really good at what you do. Because it was just a couple of weeks ago, you get some award, or you were rated like really, was it number 1 or number 5 or quite high up?
So usually,
in the whole of the UK, this was.
So usually really high in the whole of the UK, and then just recently we get stats. So we've got the Scotland stats, the UK stats, and the European stats.
Yep.
So the European stats is where I really aim to do the best I can possibly do.
So you
right?
want to be the best.
So that is it. So we go to the conference.
Scotland or England, I'm going for Europe.
I'm Mr. Europe next, let alone Mr. Scotland. And I'd got to, so when you get to the top 100, they then start to place, and you get emailed every month, and the whole of Europe gets emailed. So I think my most recent, the best I've got, and the most recent is number 22 out of 30-odd thousand.
In Europe?
So in the whole of Europe.
I mean, holy shit, man.
I know.
And just a young guy, man. I mean, that's what you call balls, by the way. That's what you call, I mean, I'm going back to the whole 18-year-old in front of the deer in the headlights thinking, what have I done? Where am I? You know, I don't even know where my place isn't. And then to I mean, 7 years later.
I know.
That's that. I mean, honestly, as I said, I've been following your career since we met. The seven, nearly 8 years. About 8 years now. 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
And I've loved it. You know, I always, well done, congratulations. Because I love that. I love success stories.
Yeah.
Because the world is full of fake, pretentious bullshit. right? And it's okay to celebrate success, and it's okay to make money, and it's okay to have nice houses and nice cars and all these things. But I always think the people who have really grafted hard, and I mean, for you example, it's a young guy in an industry where everybody is so much older, more maturer, and you've conquered it.
Yeah.
Like you've conquered it. So I always think to myself, wow. And hence the reason that I wanted you to come on. So anyway, I want to go back. I want to go back to the younger you. So let's say we've got a younger audience listening to us. By the way, some of our most popular podcasts have been younger audience, believe it or not. In fact, our biggest viral podcast was a younger audience member.
Right, okay.
So I want to go back to the younger you. So you left school.
Yep.
What was going through your mind when you left school? You left school at 16. What was that like? Because you're obviously driven then as well.
I wanted out of there. I hated school.
Did you?
I hated school with a passion. I think you could ask my mum and dad if about primary one. I think I would just wanted to go. I hated school. Education just wasn't for me.
Me either. I enjoyed school, but for different reasons.
Did you see? I hated it.
Oh no, I enjoyed it because of my pals, the women and the lassies and all that. So that was my. But I had ADHD and I have this dyslexia. Well, we obviously can't have dyslexia. It's how my brain works. I didn't know there was something wrong with me. I just thought I was just different. What's wrong? I used to think like, well, what's wrong with me? Like what? Why can I not get this stuff? Like I'm trying really hard and I'm reading books and I'm like, I struggled at school, by the way, really struggled. I enjoyed it only because of my mates at school.
See, I love the social aspect.
That was it. So the social aspect, there we go.
The social aspect, and you can be really wide and not really get told off and just get away with it and then just disappear home when you want to. I used to go, I'd be like, I've had enough today.
Me too.
And we only lived like 10 minutes away, so I'd be like, I just walk home and then my mum texts me, she's like, I've just got a text out of work. She's like, why are you not at school? And I'm like, just had enough today, Heather. I just want to go home. Like, I'm kind of done with it today. And I was like, I just want out. It just wasn't for me. And a lot of my pals were staying on and they were going to do 5th year, 6th year. And I thought, nah, I've got the small range of qualifications that I had. And I thought, I'm going to do something with them.
I
thought, I'm a big believer in education isn't everything, to be honest with you. And I think
school education
isn't, and they really
real world education, different scenario.
Aye, the real world education and being out there and experiencing things firsthand for yourself.
That's
and
where it happens.
That's where you learn things. You don't learn things by sitting reading stuff at a book and writing it into a jotter and exams. Exams just again wasn't for me. It was not for me.
I was terrible at exams. Because I used to think there was something wrong with me. I'm like, I must have a terrible, I have to get a great memory. And it was because I was bored.
Yeah.
It didn't interest me. So how the hell am I supposed to take this information and store it? It didn't interest me. So I was just like, this is just a waste of time. Keep going. I like your story. Keep going. So school, you left school.
I left school and I was like, as soon as I was 16, I was like, I'm out of here. I tried to leave when I was 15, but even the local companies, they wouldn't take you on until you're 16 because I didn't even have a national insurance number or anything. I was like, God. And so I was like, hit 16, did my stuff. Away I went and I applied for apprenticeships, I applied for recruitment, I'd applied for roles in car sales, I'd applied
you just wanted
for
sales?
I just wanted sales.
Right.
I wanted
How did you know? What was it that you wanted to be sales? Because that's normally most people are like, no, your sales is like
in it.
Aye, but they end up in it.
It's not something they want to do.
No.
I was just a wee wido, to be honest with you. And I still am.
You just love the chat.
I just love the chat, and you're a bit of wido and a bit of banting folk and you chat away and you can push it where you would get told off in school for that. Whereas I can do that with a customer and chat away. I wanted to sell something and I said to everybody, if I hadn't got estate agency was where I wanted, but it was a very much of a closed shop and you had to have done it for X amount. And today, a lot of agencies don't want to take on people who've worked in other agencies because they want to mould them a certain way. But when I was starting, you had to have worked at least 1 or 2 years selling. It was usually 2 companies in West Lothian as people who kind of expected you at big corporates to go for. And once people could know you'd done your time there, they knew you were good for it. They knew you weren't a fry in the pan and going to go away. So you had to do your time there. I went and worked in one of those agencies and I learned a lot from it. I learnt an awful lot from it, but I was very fortunate I got to that role because it's a competitive job to get into.
Absolutely. Especially your age.
Aye.
That is unheard of. Like, that is. In fact, do you know, I don't know one other person in your industry that's your age. I don't know anybody.
No.
And I know a lot of estate agents. Obviously, the business world.
That's it.
So I mean, sorry, I'm interrupting you. Keep going.
No,
So,
you're fine.
So you get into the estate agency.
So I got into it and I'd applied for everything known to man, and then I got my apprenticeship and I was like, I don't want to do commercial. That's when I first left school. I thought, I don't really want to do commercial. I don't want to sell land. But I was getting folk were advising going, just do it. It gets your foot in the door. It gets you used to money. It gets you money in your hand again. You can go out and do whatever you want. And see that first payment, I got my first ever wage. I was like, this is class. It's like, I have two hands. I was going in and getting them. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It was great. And then I realised quickly, and I was like, I hate this. And I was like, my mum, I speak to my parents about everything. They're brilliant. They advise me on everything, business related, personal, work, anything. I go to them.
That must be really good to have a strong network.
It's amazing.
Like that,
it's amazing. And I grew up with that. So that to me has been dead important, seeing that a solid
Is your mum and dad
family.
entrepreneurial?
No,
but they've obviously got a very entrepreneurial. They've obviously got a very open mind, though.
So they're very driven. They've both done well in their careers and their jobs, and they've both got to decent levels within their work. So I've always seen that. Like, it's wee silly things like when I go to work, like getting dressed up and done up to go to your work. Right, I see so many folk now. I'm going to it infuriates me. See jeans and a t-shirt and trainers and that to go and do like my job.
No, I'm the same. When I'm out doing my job, when I'm doing my thing, well, you've seen me.
I remember that.
I'm dressed because this is my audience needs to look at me and think this guy knows his shit, and it means a lot. I agree with you, by the way. I love
really
getting dressed up.
I
love it.
Makes you feel great. I love it. Cutting about the shops, like you run to the fort, you run to the centre, like after work, and folks like, I wonder where he's been going. Like, what? You know what I mean? You're like, you get a photo guest from you.
I wonder what he does.
I wonder what he does, aye.
Little do they know he's the youngest estate agent in Scotland.
But do you know who I am? But I just think, and I grew up with that. Like, I always remember getting ready for school, and my mum and dad were running about the house, getting ready for work, sorting the dogs, sorting me, sorting my brother, and they were getting ready, and they were, like, my dad had his uniform for the fire brigade, my mum had her work gear on, their suits and that, to go and do her job and get done up for that. And that to me is normal. Do you know? So that when I went into the workplace,
I went to school. So I went to school with my blazer and my shirt and my tie, and all my mates went with just casual gear, and I went with a blazer, a shirt and a tie. Listen, see, I stood on, so at 16 I stood on to 17. When I was 16 I had no qualifications. I just wasted school. And my dad says to me, right, this is a great story for you. My dad says to me, I think I might have told this actually in the course, my dad says to me, you need to get some kind of qualification. If you're going to get a decent job, you need something. He says, I'll pay you to go back to... All my mates were on YTS. They were making 30 quid a week or 28 quid, I think. He says, I'll pay you the same money, but when you go back to school, you need to stick in. Right? So I really, I tried so hard, so hard for that year. I can't remember... this is why I'm telling you the story. So I'm getting into 5th year. And you didn't have to wear a uniform or anything like that. So my dad gave me money to go and buy an outfit, new clothes for starting back to school. I went and bought a brand new blazer, a new tie, trousers and a nice jacket to go to school. People were like... But I've always, right for primary... first year, I've always wore a shirt and a tie and my school blazer. It's just how I was brought up.
Well, that's it. It is, isn't it?
It's just how I was brought up.
It's how you.
And I think that's why we have this, the way that we need to look in that professional environment, because that's what you're supposed to look like. All right, ties are not just as big a thing. You know, I used to wear a tie all the time. Now I don't wear it as often when I do, because I obviously do talks or in the UK. But I still love getting dressed up.
It just makes you feel good. Like, it feels great. It does, and I like the difference. Like, I can go home and take it off and put a trackie on. I look like a wee casual.
And I genuinely do.
That is it. And as soon as I'm home, the suit's off, the shirt's off, the tie's off, the watch's off. And I just go, and it's like one contrast to another. And even when I go out at the weekend, I'll go out for dinner, whatever, I'm still dressed up, but it's just a different type of dress up.
Absolutely.
So it's nice to
Dress for the occasion.
It's nice to do it for what you're doing.
Yeah.
And where
Listen,
you're
I
going.
went in a world cinema. We were presenting an award. We'd sponsored Women in Business and the Women in Construction Awards last Friday. And I love, because we obviously got a lot of awards and a lot of talks, and I've got loads of nice velvet, red velvet, I've got green velvet, I've got black velvet, I've got a brown velvet, and I've got all the bow ties that go with them. So whatever my wife's wearing, I've got a bow tie that'll go with her outfit. And because I love that.
Yeah.
I love getting dressed up. I just think it makes you feel good, doesn't it?
It does.
It makes you feel good.
It makes you feel good. It makes you feel a wee bit more confident about yourself, and you think you're looking good, so folk are going to look at you and go, he knows what he's talking about.
Gives you a wee edge.
It does.
I agree with you.
Especially now, where I would really say since COVID, I think COVID's the worst thing that ever happened to the world, to be honest with you. I would really say since that, the whole mindset of people shifted, and it goes from everything from the way you work to the way you operate to the way you even present yourself when you go into you see it all the time. You really do. And I would say since then there's been a big shift in the way of really people are, to be honest.
Well, COVID kicked in just after we met.
It did.
It was a year and a half later COVID kicked in. What was that like for you?
Terrifying.
Successive excuses, peaks and troughs. What was that like?
It was terrifying. I remember I'd gone home for it because there was all the rumbles about it on Facebook and LinkedIn. I was like, this is never going to come to Scotland.
I said that exactly. I wasn't even. I thought if it, like, I'm not sure.
No.
There was nothing in my brain could think that what happened would happen. Nothing.
No, it was insane.
Anyway, I'm interrupting.
No, and I remember going to people's houses, and I had been to 2 houses that day, and I had won both the properties, and I was in their house, and I was booking in their pictures, and I was booking in their home report, and I was booking myself in to go and measure up and do a description of that. And then it was on the diary, everyone was sent the confirmations, they'd sent money over for the home ports, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, right, sound perfect, good to go. And then my phone started going crazy that night, and folk like, I think we're going to go into lockdown, just cancel. And I was like, nah, I don't think we are. I've got a good feeling about it. I was like, we'll wait till the announcement this evening. I think it was the worst, 2 minutes of my life watching him on the telly going, and as of now, we're into lockdown, don't leave your house, don't do this, don't go to your work. And I was like, you are kidding me.
Your whole world fell at you.
It was awful. I was on a flyer, and then I remember seeing that online in socials and LinkedIn, and I think that's when I thought LinkedIn was fantastic, because everybody was sharing ideas and sharing thoughts and advice and what to do with this and bits with furlough and what to do with money if you've got nothing coming in. And we couldn't go and list anyhow. There was people listing properties and selling, but you weren't allowed to. But it was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. And I'd gone from having, albeit I had a basic wage and a commission, it wasn't fantastic by any means, but I'd gone from having that to then going totally nothing. And then my pipeline, so to speak, where my sales were complete, they were all starting to come in just as COVID hit us, because it takes quite a wee while, like any business, to build up your pipeline and build up your sales and make your bank account look like you're not going to cry every time you go into the bank.
I've done a few days of trial. Honestly, see the early days, and there was days, because I'm a huge believer in you've got to keep investing in yourself and your business. You've got to be out there marketing. I mean, you've got to be spending money because if people don't know you're about, guess what? They don't know.
Well, that's
right? They don't know. And I remember, I'm going to go back to the whole kind of COVID scenario. There was days, right, when I didn't even know how I was going to put food on the table. Like, I was, those first few years, I was like, how? All my business at that time was face to face. It was in hotels.
A hotel.
And guess what? Same scenario, sitting watching TV, and they said, I never forget the feeling of when they said the world, I shit myself. Because I thought we'd about 180 grand's worth of work, right, on the board. And literally for the lockdown, so this was was it the Wednesday or the Thursday of the lockdown? I think it was a Wednesday.
I think it was a Wednesday.
So by the Friday, I had about 100 grand gone. See, by the following week, everything. There was no work in the books. Everybody cancelled.
Well, that's it.
Everybody cancelled because they're like, well, we're going into lockdown. We can't do this training. We can't do that. Everybody cancelled. And I was just like, I remember on a Friday, me and the wife, we were in our walk. We got up early and we go walk. So we went on a walk and we came back. And we're standing in the office, Neil. And I'm like, I've got a huge big, I've not got it now, but I had a huge big goal board, right? Huge goal board. You know, I'm into my goal setting, right? Big believer in goals. So, and I'm looking at the board and I was crying, right? My wife standing next to me and I was just like, oh, everything we've built the last 3 years are gone. And she says, James, it's not gone. She's like, the people are still there. The content is still there. We just need to find a new way of working.
I'll read it.
And I'm like, what? We need to find a new way of working. The very next day, we went, we thought, how much money have we got? Right, so we pulled on the money, we got money off the government, we pulled everything together, and we had about a totally 12 grand, right? And we just went to Fiverr and Upwork, you know, and got people to build as a learning platform, and then starting putting our courses. So I had to pay, because I don't know how we do that stuff. I know how to do it now. But I had to pay people to do this stuff. And I used to say to them, when you're building it, I want you to take screenshot videos so that I can learn to do it. And by the way, we actually made more money during that first year of COVID than we'd made the previous 3 years.
Seriously?
For nothing. But rather than sticking our head in the sand, Neil, we were like, well, if I stick my head in the sand, it's gone, right? It's gone. If I don't stick my head in the sand and I think, how else can I do business? Online, virtual.
Well, that's it.
And then all of a sudden, rather than having this small pool of people in Scotland, I had the world. I was running courses for Saudi Arabia, I was running courses in Dubai, Kurdistan, virtually. I was using my networks. Oh, by the way, do you know I've got such and such? Oh, by the way, we're doing a discounted rate. Don't need to leave the office, don't need to leave home. You can learn sales and sales techniques online. Oh, great. Can I sign up 10 of my people? Great, bang. You know what I mean? And we just, it was just this knock-on effect, and we just, it really did. That change in mindset was massive for me. That, do you know what? No matter what happens, right, in life or in business, if you can look at it as an opportunity, everything changes.
Well, that's it.
And it took my wife to say to me, nothing's not like, and I'm the motivational guy, and it took her to say to me, and I'm crying, by the way, saying to me, no, it's not gone. We just need to find a different way of doing business. And I'm like, shite, man. You're right. And that was it.
I know. It was crazy, and you did just have to sit there, and it's funny you're saying about the virtual, because like our stuff is in person.
It's up there and then.
I need to build this for you in your living room, trying to sell our services and what we can do for you.
I remember trying to buy a house, by the way, during COVID. Oh my holy God. Because it was 1 minute you're locked in, then we're open up, then we're locked in, then we're open up. We actually never bought during COVID because it was such a nightmare, but anyway.
It was a shambles. I hated working during it. When during it we had to, we couldn't list any, we couldn't sell, and I had to do everything like on FaceTime with people or on, I'm hopeless with all that. I'm young, but I swear I'm like a pencil in a young person's body. Like, I type with one finger, right? I don't do online banking. I like cash. Honestly, all of this, I'm like, it took me a long time to get my mindset into this is how I've got to do it.
Business from now on,
So folk like, right, Neil, we're going to start doing the virtual valuations. We're going to do this over FaceTime, and folk are going to send you pictures. And I was like, how's that? Like WhatsApp? There's a thing called WhatsApp. And I was like, all right, that's fine. So we started WhatsApp us pictures, emailing us pictures, and we were having to send an appraisal of ourselves talking, going, right, your house is worth this amount, you'll do great once the market's opened, just to keep things going. More for your mental sanity as well, to be honest with you. Because I think if you were sitting there in your house, you'd be like,
just
worrying the whole time. So I thought, if I keep myself busy and I'm offering people virtual quotes and this and that, hopefully once the market reopens, I'm going to be flat out.
You've got a good pipeline.
That was it. I've got a good pipeline. So, because I was thinking in my head, I was like, right, so maybe if we're open by about July, August.
I thought that as well.
I just didn't have, it was so awful. And then I was like, because we work like 3 months in arrears, right? So whatever I sell now, I class this as Christmas money. Right? So this is what I'm buying.
Our business is exactly the same, by the way. We're 3 months.
That's it.
So if I sell a programme, by the time the money generally hits our bank, so let's say you're interested in a programme, by the time the money hits our bank, it's generally 3 months.
Yep. So that's
So
it. So you're always.
I get that.
Yeah. So you're going.
And once you build your pipeline, then that doesn't really matter any longer because you always know every month.
Because it's like a salary. But just that first 6 months or so, you're like, right, okay, I'll be like, Tesco Blue might stripe your food for me tonight, and that's fine. And I was like, right, if I can get this sorted, I can get my mindset in, and I'm doing this. And although it's not the best thing in the world, I can make a good thing because I can make myself flat out, busy, tonto when I go back. And that's me. And we did, and it was great, and it carried on, and it has just carried on busy since then.
It has. You've not stopped.
I know.
It's one thing after another.
I think my last holiday was COVID.
I know the feeling.
But it was like, I think if you can take a really shit situation in life to happen, and it was a horrible time for everybody, and if you can turn that into not a good thing, but if you can turn it into a positive and make it work for you a wee bit better, and kind of push it on and make it work for you a wee bit better. Do you know, I think it was. And I think there's a lot of people have done it, and we certainly tried to make hay while the sun shined with it, and try and push on. And in that time, the money was great. So then I managed to put into my business a bit more and do even more marketing and even more flyering and social media and investing in things and paying people to do this. Whereas I was having to do that on my own.
Yeah.
But because it was that great, it was coming in, it's really built up. Like, my social media has gone fantastic since then.
Yeah.
And it's really, really built up. But I think that's because during COVID we were all trying to work out different ways to market yourself and grow.
And marketing's the key.
And it is the key.
It's the key.
You've hit the nail on the head. Folk don't. It really pains you to say it. You can come from the most well-known family in the world, and you could be so well-known and down the street, and everybody knows you, and everybody knows your car, and people don't know who you are when you set up a business.
Yeah. No, they haven't got a fucking scoop.
They haven't got a clue.
They don't know.
It's the most humbling thing in the world.
Oh, it's humbling.
It certainly is.
I'm going to go back to something you mentioned right at the start. I remember when so first of all, when I first decided I was getting into business, I remember my dad saying to me, like, what is wrong with you? Like, you've got this incredible career, and like, I don't, he couldn't compute that why I was giving up all this stuff to start a business that I had no idea what I was doing, right? None. And then I remember, like, I'm going to go back to the early years, and I remember thinking to myself, I was literally, first of all, a network, right? Serial networks, because I had to understand, if I'm going to sell coaching and training, I need to understand which people's problems are. What is the problems? What is it people need help with? And I found out really, really quickly that most of the small business owners, first, they hate selling. They don't believe in marketing. And I'm like, if you're not out there telling people what you do and how good you are at what you do, people don't know. And I'm and you're really good at telling people, I'm great at what I do. And I think you have to, don't you? You have to be marketing yourself so much.
You have to blow your own trumpet.
Absolutely. And I can blow my trumpet.
And you know, and it's getting the fine line. Well, I always thought when I started, now I really don't care as much, to be honest with you. When I started, I was like, God, I don't want folk to think I'm sitting here going, this is how great I am. Because that's just not who I am at all. But I saw. But
it's the exact opposite, though, really. It's known that how great you are. This is how hard I'm working. I'm a grafter.
I think so. And my turning point for me was I got a phone called off the high school that I went to in Bathgate, and they said, can you come and do the careers fair? And I was like, me, who spent more time fighting with teachers and arguing with them and getting in trouble than anything else, and like, yes, like, because we need people like you, because there's a lot of people in the school are still like you, and there'll always be people like you. And they were always, like, I did the apprentice, like I said earlier, I'd done the apprenticeship route, but they were very aggressive on the university, and I wasn't cut out for that. Totally. And they were very much, if you don't do university, you were left. You're not good to school, really. And then I thought about apprenticeships and blah, blah, blah. So then fast forward, here we are. And then I got the phone call about, do you want to come to the careers fair? And I was like, what am I going to actually tell people that's going to be any use to them? of what you're good at careers for. But I thought, that's fine, I'll go along. I went to the head office with Remax in Bells Hill. I managed to get all the pop-up things, you know, the Remax. I got my stage all Remaxified, and I had all my booklets there, and I thought I could turn this into a good bit of business for me here, because all these wee guys and that, they're going to go home to their mum and dad and say, oh, by the way, I'd an estate agent. So I was like, anybody that spoke to me, I was like, take a business card, you take a flyer, here's a pen, here's this. Where do you stay? I was like, leaflet and flyer them. And I remember folk talking to me going, well, it's always something I'm interested in. Like, I like it because you're out and about during the day. You're not stuck at a desk.
And every single day is different.
Every single day is different. And you're not really got somebody shouting at you going, you've not done this, you've not done it. You're very much, you've got a bit more freedom to work with, really. I remember sitting there and I was telling all these folk about it, and I was like, God, this is actually making a bit of a difference here. Like, they're now thinking
you
that
see
this
the
is
wee
a career
penny
path.
dropping in their eyes, didn't you? Well, that's me, I could be that.
Like, I could do that, could be me in 5-10 years' time. And I remember there was my guidance teacher at school who did not like me, and we weren't the best of friends ever. Even she came up and she's like, I think what you've done is absolutely fantastic. She's like, I think this is brilliant, and there needs to be more of an emphasis putting on the business route, or going
out and doing things for yourself,
doing something
following
for
a
yourself.
passion,
That is
rather than you have to be good at school to go on in life. Well, I wasn't.
Well, see, that is it. That's the thing. And I remember, at that point, the money was crazy. It was great because it was just after lockdown when just opened back up, and it was booming. Everyone was selling the price. You would get folk when quibbling on fees. I know. And I remember sitting there and I made a joke with the headmaster about wages. That is it. I remember I made a joke about like the money and the wages, and one of the teachers was like, what? And I was like, I was like, so for somebody that's not exactly done the best at school, and then they were actually bringing folk over to come talk to him, speak to him about maybe not sticking in at school the best and doing this, and it, honestly, it made such, I'm not honest, folk, it made me feel great. I'm not like that at all, right? But it actually did make me feel quite good sitting and talking to folk. And
I love it, by the way, especially younger generation. I love saying to them, telling them the story about telling my story, because people like, they can then relate.
Well, that is
to
it.
You, because as you said, and very, very eloquently said, like, there's a lot of young entrepreneurs, potential entrepreneurs, business owners out there that have no idea that this stuff is possible. And I love it. I love it. I love it, Neil. It's such a passion of mine, and hence the reason that obviously we've got here. Listen, we're getting close to the end, right? So I ask all my guests this,
right?
And it's your top 3 pieces of advice in life. Now, let's say there's either a young set of kids, or there's a youngster, or there's just somebody who's just started up in business. Doesn't need to be a estate agency. What's your top 3 pieces of advice in life?
Try not, and it's easy to sit here saying this, but try not to think about, or try not to care too much about what people are thinking and saying in the background. Right?
It's hard.
It is hard.
But you have to do it.
You have to. Grow a thick skin.
Aye. Absolutely.
That'd be one. So definitely try not to think about what folk are doing. Try and see the better of everything. Try and find the better. And I learned that, I think it was day one of that course I did with you. And you're like, try and find the better of every opportunity. Because if you go and going, this is going to be a waste of time here, it will be a waste of time.
Yeah, it will.
Whereas if you go in here and go, this is going, I'm going to do this, I'm good at that. Good things come from that.
Absolutely.
Right? So try and find
some of the best things are when you're expecting the least.
You're expecting the least from it. That's when the best things tend to happen to it, definitely. And I would say find good people that you can surround yourself with. And they don't have to be your best pals. No. They can be folk you can phone and chat to and run ideas past, but find good people, whether it's friends, family, business colleagues, folk on social media, folk on LinkedIn, folk on TikTok.
Don't be scared to reach out to them. Don't be scared
to reach out and send a text. And you know what? See if they don't reply to you, that's more on them than it is on you.
Absolutely. I help everybody, by the way. That's number 2. Number 3.
Number 3. Oh, God. Just keep grafting. Just keep going.
Because you just never know, don't you?
You just never know. You never know when you're going to have that thing, and it just works, and it just flips.
When your bank account's not empty all the time, and all of a sudden you're like, wow. Like, I've actually turned this around. And that's the never giving up, because you don't know.
You just don't know when it's going to happen. And it happens to everybody.
It does. By the way, I have interviewed loads and loads and loads of entrepreneurs, right? Mostly 99% are all business owners.
Yeah.
And everybody says exactly the same thing. They went into it, they first of all didn't realise how hard it was going to be, right? The graft, the grit.
Yeah.
And then every one of them are like, you just need to keep going. Because there's days when you want to run away.
Yeah.
There's days when you just think, oh, you're so tired. You're stressed. Things aren't going your way.
Yeah.
But the next day or the next week,
it could just fall into place.
could you, like, September was one of our worst September, not for the business, but for me and Enos.
Yeah.
Just a lot of things that happened in the business.
Aye.
But it was one of our best financially.
I know.
How the hell does that
How
work?
does it work? How does that
And
go
by the
together?
way, Enos was so stressed, Neil. I was so upset that she was so stressed, and I couldn't help her.
Yeah.
I just couldn't help her, and it was heartbreaking, man. We never argue, right? And we argued.
Right.
We were arguing, and we never, ever, ever argued.
No.
And we were having these bickers, and I kept saying, why are you speaking to me like that? Please don't speak to me. And I'm stressed, I know, but it doesn't mean it's okay, though.
Yeah.
And then I would try and comfort her and she'd be like, no. Oh, no. And by the way, that's the exact opposite for our relationship. We do not speak to each other or treat each other like that.
Yeah.
But it was just that build-up. Because we just didn't know what October was going to be like.
Aye.
We didn't know.
Yeah.
And it turned out a really good month, but it was a really tough business month. Anyway, listen, I want to just say thank you.
Thank you very much for having me on.
It's been an absolute pleasure. And before you go, all my guests get a Success and Excuses book.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
So this is the podcast is all based on it. It's just my story.
Brilliant.
It's just my story.
Yeah.
It's my story of life, really. All the things that we've talked about.
Yeah.
All the things that we've talked about. And it's been an absolute pleasure. So
It's been
thank you
brilliant.
so
Thank
much
you very much.
for coming
It's been
along.
fantastic.
Brilliant.
Thank you.